God will see the best in you when everyone else around could only see the worst.
good number of people on the committee are concerned about is just the very, very low level of job creation. If you adjust what has been the trend job creation over the past, let's say, 6 months, if you adjust that for what we think, our staff thinks, is the overstatement due to overcounting, effectively there's zero net job creation in the private sector. The thing that I think good number of people on the committee.
This is wearing on you.
It is. I can't sleep. I'm not eating. And if I don't stop this, I'm going to wind up in the hospital. This is what we used last night to catch that other one. We had to put the weights on him, the hammer.
Cora Robinson, armed with a piece of plywood, spends her days trying to defend her home against rats.
I thought it would keep them from running around the baseboard, right? But now what they doing is they just come, they so big, they jumping over it.
They certainly don't look small. Miss Robinson took these photos of at least 2 rats rummaging around her kitchen Friday night. Any hope of hosting for Easter went right out the window.
I'm tired of cleaning poop off the stove. You know, I mean, it's terrible. And if you turn the oven on, it smells like them.
Miss Robinson took this video of one of the rodents sitting on her countertop in the fall. She says she's been dealing with this infestation for almost a year now.
I can see how much this is wearing on you.
It is. I can't sleep. I'm not eating. And
oh, good morning. What happened to the rest of the video? There was more. We don't have to watch it again.
Are being exposed to
her food and her bed and water are in my bedroom. I can't leave it out here because they'll get into it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just done. I'm just so disgusted.
She's filed complaints with the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development, which according to documents has cited the landlord in the past.
Hi, who am I speaking with?
We left a message for Aston Management and emailed the landlords, all of which were the respondents in a tenant lawsuit in 2023 that alleged unlivable conditions at 1777 Grand Concourse. The tenant's lawyer says the case is still pending.
Miss Robinson says she would love to just move out of her building, but at 71 years old, she just can't afford to. She says something is very wrong in this city if a senior can't live comfortably.
All these people need to come and take a look and smell. Okay, that's what I wish they would do.
I can see how much this is wearing on you.
It is. I can't sleep.
I mean, Jesus Christ, what is going on? Where is Mayor Zohran Mamdani? A development to that story, though, is that a pest control company saw the news segment and they went to her house to help her. But there's still no word from the landlord. And so we're going to be tracking that. That is a 70-year-old woman. And that's how she has to live in New York City. Chad, chime in on that one. Good morning and welcome to Black Press USA's morning show, where we bring you the headlines and the culture. And before that, you saw the Fed chair talking about no job creation. And we see so many companies laying off and computers, AI taking our jobs. And so this country is spiraling out of control. And we're going to talk about all of it, but we're going to also talk about how, you know, there are still issues that are impacting our community and how we're still thriving and talking about the issues that are important to us. Dr. Marilyn says she needs to move out of state. I would agree, or upstate or something, because that is ridiculous. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I had to double check to make sure that was like a current story, but it is. And I want to know what, you know, the mayor has said about this situation, because that is a viral video that is trending. Thank God a pest control company did see that she was in dire need, and they came and they offered their services, which she did take. And so she does have some type of security now within all of that was happening to her apartment. But just think about all the other people living in that apartment building and what they're going through. I mean, pest control can't offer all of them help. They gotta make money. And that should be the landlord, the owner's job to fix that problem. So that's what's happening in New York.
But we know that rats can't even live on the street in your world or the
Oh, I mean, just as long as I don't see them, you know, if I don't see them, I'm fine. But once I see them, there's a problem. I'm not going to even get into what I saw in DC on the streets, but that's in her apartment building. I mean, and those rats were damn near bigger than a possum or a raccoon. So there you have it. Let's get into our morning poll. Our morning poll is, with the 2026 midterm season heating up and the Congressional Black Caucus emphasizing economic empowerment, which issue do you believe should be the #1 priority for Black press to highlight this month? So what do you want to see Black press talking about this month? Is it healthcare cost and AI access? Or is it student debt and the big ugly bill? How about C, protecting the vote, or D, Black business sustainability? So chat, chime in, and let us know what you want to see the Black press highlighting as we continue to move into this midterm season. We know primaries are coming up in various states. Here in California, we have a big one in June. Let us know what you want to see the Black press. And I'm talking about the Black press in your local community. What would you like for them to talk about? Healthcare costs, AI access, student debt, the big beautiful bill, protecting the vote, or Black business sustainability? Let us know what you want to see. All right, let's get into our first story. I don't know what happened to our co-host this morning. It happens, but guess what? Like in show business, the show must go on. All right, so our first story, the Fed chair was talking about no job creation. And as there's no job creation, people are being laid off. So no job creation and people are being laid off. And Oracle has laid off 30,000 worldwide, and it's up its AI spending, and appoints Hillary Maxson as CFO for $29.7 million. So in 1 week, they laid off 30,000, then hired a CFO and gave her 30 million, and they're leaning into AI. So no prior warning from the managers or HR. The day the email was sent out, they were told that was their last day and were immediately cut off from access to their emails. That's how Oracle is doing it. And we know that Larry Ellison is a big owner of Oracle. He also owns, well, his son owns, they own CBS. They just did the Warner Brothers Paramount merger thanks to Trump's FCC. And he's part owner of TikTok. So this is the direction of our country. They're taking our jobs, they're giving them to AI, and Trump is feeding all of this to his white MAGA friends and donors. And so this is what's happening right now in our country, folks. So 3 weeks earlier, you should know that Oracle had reported its best organic growth quarter in 15 years. So it wasn't like they were doing bad. They were at their prime. Out of 15 years, this was their best year. But yet they still felt the need to lay off 30,000 people. Now, they had reported its organic growth. They had earned $17.2 billion. $17.2 billion in revenue. That's up 22%. But yet they still laid off 30,000, gave the new CEO 30 million. And they had fired career Oracle employees. 20, 30 years. Just let them go. So that's what we have right now. Let's see what the chat is saying. We can't, what are we saying? There's a lot of MAGA in the chat right now, so I need from our I need y'all help this morning. I mean, I'm not worried about them. Not worried about them at all. But I guess what we're talking about interests them more than what the Klan is over there doing on the other pages, because the Klan is over there talking what y'all want to hear about. So why don't y'all go over there? But we know you love Black excellence. We know you want to find out what Black folks is talking about. So, Greer, is that our music that's playing? Oh, no, that's something else. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about, have you guys been enjoying what's happening in space, the images that we see coming out of space? I mean, I've been loving it. I didn't even realize how much I missed something like that. But a satellite imaging company, Planet Labs, has said it will indefinitely withhold visuals of Iran and the region of conflict in the Middle East to comply with a request from Donald Trump's administration. So Trump doesn't want us to see what they're doing over there, okay, in the Middle East. Now, the U.S. company announced the decision in an email to customers over the weekend, with news agencies quoting it as saying the government had asked the satellite company providers to impose an indefinite withhold on those images. So it looks like we're getting more into state-ran media, news. And so the only place that you're going to have is outlets like this: Black Press USA Morning Show, Black Press newspapers, who are not controlled by the federal government. And so we implore you and ask you to support your local Black newspapers. There's one in every city. There's one available to you. And so we would love for you to support Black Press, like and subscribe, follow our YouTube channel, because it gets harder, because companies are not obligated now to support Black media, no matter how good we are. Look at what happened to Oracle. Now they are at their top of their field with money, okay? Best quarter ever, but yet they lay off 30,000, hire a CEO for 30 million. And so they're trying to ice everything else out, for lack of better terms. And so support Black media. You know, if you find a voice that you trust, support it. But most importantly, support Black Press as we celebrate 199 years of bringing you news, views, and of course, the importance of the Black journey and the Black struggle. Our next story takes us to the Omnibus Act. Congress members Alma S. Adams, Lauren Underwood, and Senator Cory Booker, they have reintroduced the Omnibus Act. Now, the Omnibus Act is a transformational package of bills that addresses social issues on health, expands workforce and healthcare, promotes maternal vaccination, strengthens data collection for maternal healthcare research. It improves care for veterans and incarcerated moms. It extends postpartum WIC access, expands access to maternal mental health care, pre and postpartum, and protects moms from environmental factors that cause adverse pregnancy and outcomes. And so this is why we talk about representation matters, right? Because even though this bill might not go far because of the current status, this is why the midterms are so important. Because representation matters, and this country's makeup is not just white, right? And so we have to be able to have mechanisms that support the issues that are impacting Black folks, that are impacting minorities. And the omnibus was passed here in the state of California first. And then Lauren Underwood picked it up on a federal level. It didn't go far. And so now Alma Adams out of North Carolina reintroduced the bill. And of course, Lauren Underwood is going to jump on. And then they have someone in the Senate, Cory Booker, to support it. So we'll see how far it goes. But we know that in our healthcare system, we need Black doctors, we need Black nurses, because studies show that we have better healthcare, we have better results, because we have people who know, they know our bodies, they understand what the systemic issues are within the healthcare systems. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not saying that it's always going to work with the Black healthcare provider, but studies do show Black people do better when they have Black healthcare. Michelle Madison says exactly. And I mean, the chat is chatting, but it's all MAGA. So Greer, I want you to chime in. I want you to come in and talk to us. Greer, where are you at? I guess she went to get a cup of coffee.
I'm here.
Oh, so I wanted to talk about you. Do you have a Black doctor?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so why did you choose Black healthcare? I mean, a Black healthcare doctor or provider for you. I mean, I know the providers are not Black, but why is it important for you to have a Black doctor?
I've had some really bad experiences with bedside manner, right? And, you know, I just personally feel more comfortable as a Black woman speaking to somebody who I feel like is going to understand me, who has a sense of some of the, the challenges I might have. But honestly, in my younger years, I wasn't going to the doctor regular, I mean, as a young adult, because when we're young, we think we're going to live forever. The only time I went to the doctor is if I really got sick. But when, I wasn't getting regular checkups. But when things started to change, the body started to change. And as by the time I got into my 30s, and I had some health challenges, started having health challenges, my experiences with doctors of other races were not good at all. And as a matter of fact, they lean more in the malpractice side. So, I mean, seriously, I was diagnosed with, having some cervical issues early on. And I had to go get have a procedure done to have this, this cancer removed from my cervix. Anyway, make a long story short, by the time I was, at the point of trying to have children, I was informed that this doctor, not only did they cut off way too much, but when I was in that procedure, I'm damn near bled out. I was bleeding. And my husband at the time was like, I was telling him I was in pain. I mean, it was terrible. So after that experience, and it was a white male in New York City, I'm very, I'm proactive about who my healthcare providers are. And I do not, and that's from my dentist all the way down. I don't play around with none of that.
And Chad, I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you about how do you go about picking your doctors? Do you have a Black doctor? Does it matter to you? And do you find that you get better information and you are serviced better when you have, as a Black person, if you have a Black a doctor on your side? And so, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Omnibus Act and how it's supposed to help women of color?
Well, I mean, obviously it's necessary. I mean, anytime, when we've talked about this in the past, anytime even someone like, Serena Williams, who has, way more wealth than you and I have, and she's a major figure, right? Anytime she on death's door, clearly Black women are not being listened to, right? We saw you did a story just last week where the sister was being made to have a C-section without her permit, without her consent. And I actually saw a video clip that she made in the aftermath of that. And she really went in on the violence that took place, right, on her, right, and how her. I mean, she broke it down. It was just, it's important to have someone advocating for our healthcare, and thankfully, in this moment that we're in right now, where so many things are being unraveled, as it relates to Black people in general, and certainly Black women. We absolutely need someone, and we need leadership advocating for Black women's maternal health.
Dr. Marilyn is saying all my providers are Black. The language is dismissive with non-Black providers. That's a good point. Michelle Madison says, sorry you had to go through that, Greer. Orange says, I am on my third doctor at the VA. I went and found a Black male doctor who takes TRICARE for insurance in the private sector. And so, yeah, I mean, I definitely, I definitely have a Black gynecologist. And then also female, do you have a preference of a female or a male doctor?
I do. Gynecologist. Well, I'm going to keep it real. I'm at that age now. I don't have to go as often, but but I've always preferred a female gynecologist. Absolutely. Okay. I think it's important in general to, when you with certain type of providers, that you are able to have someone who's going to, at the very least, understand, and I'm not, that's not to take anything away from a male gynecologist, but I do think that most women are probably more comfortable. I could be wrong, but most women are more comfortable with women having conversations about their, about their female issues with women. What about you?
I totally agree. I feel more comfortable talking to a female doctor. As far as my general doctor, I don't have a problem with that, with it being male or female. But for gynecologists, for issues that are going on with my body, I prefer talking to her. Have
you ever had a white male gynecologist?
When I was younger, when I first got out of high school and went to college, where I wasn't really, healthcare becomes more important to you the older you get. But, fresh out of college, I really, I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about it. It was just like whoever the doctor was the doctor. So yeah, as you get older, you have more questions, and it's like who you feel comfortable talking to.
But can you imagine it? I'm with you. When I was young, I wasn't thinking about it, but I can say that if I encountered a situation like that where I had to talk to a white man about my body, I mean, I don't think any young Black girl should be should have to put herself through that. I don't. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be like that. I'm not trying to say that all all doctors who are not Black are racist. It's really not really about them being racist. It's really about being heard and seen.
100%.
100%. And people don't, when we say that, and I'm not just talking about Black women even, but I think that when we say that, no one really, no one hears us. But, and as I say that, our guest has arrived, and I think this is a perfect moment, to bring them in and start this conversation.
I appreciate that. So let's bring in our guest. They are the executive director of the First Ladies Health Initiative. Welcome, Marquise ALSTON-ALLISON. Did I say your first name right?
Marquise.
Marquise. Yeah. Okay. Marquise ALSTON-ALLISON. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For sure. We were just sitting here talking about, health, and we just talked about the Momnibus Act. I'm not sure if you know, but Congress members Alma S. Adams out of North Carolina, Lauren Underwood out of Illinois, and Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey have reintroduced the Momnibus Act.
That's amazing.
And so we know that here in California, it was passed. And before we move into talk about, this initiative and the work that you are doing, what are your thoughts on the Momnibus and how it helps help healthcare for Black women?
I think the Momnibus Act is amazing. Representative Lauren Underwood, I know, and other senators have been working on it for quite a while. It makes sense given that the maternal health crisis is a crisis no matter what color you are. But when it comes to Black women, it becomes a disparity, which is why I am very happy to see legislation around it, because there's research around it. The First Lady's Health Initiative has a Born to Thrive health panel that we're taking city to city to talk about these maternal health death rates. I mean, if you're a Black woman, you're 3 to 4 times more likely to pass from maternal complications than any other race. And those statistics sound like a third world country, but we're here in America. And I want to make everyone know. I want everyone to know that it doesn't matter how much education you have, how much money you have. We've heard people from Serena Williams saying that people weren't listening to her, to other panelists that we've had that say, I just wasn't listened to. And that is a problem. So for it to go to legislation, it's a huge deal, and I hope it pushes some change.
Now, this is Black Maternal Health Week, correct?
It is Black Maternal Health Week.
Yeah, so that's why we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
folks. But I also looked at them reintroducing the bill, the language is different because we're in a different time, and so you can't say Black, right?
Sure.
And so now the conversation and the bill and the language in it is more, inclusive and not specific. Do you think that will be a challenge and a problem as we look at what the Momnibus Act was supposed to do, but because of the situation we're in now in our country, what it can do?
I think that health providers are very aware of what's happening. And like I said, this maternal health crisis is a crisis no matter what color you are. We are bottom of the list when it comes to first world countries and maternal health and maternal death rate. So if anything, it could help us. But I just think right now it's really about healthcare providers talking to each other, doulas talking to each other. We are in a space where doula and midwifery are now becoming a part of insurance, being carried by insurance, including some states picking it up under Medicaid. So I do think that there are health providers and we are moving towards a way that we can support the Black woman, regardless of what a bill may say or not say as far as race. It's really interesting because doula services and being a doula or a midwife was criminalized back in the day, and that's so unfortunate because that's exactly the type of support you need when you go into the OR or you go to give birth in any way. You need that support, and the doula serves as a lawyer, and not only a lawyer but a medical professional. They are really an advocate for you when your family is going through a big transition.
So let's talk about the power of the pulpit. So the First Lady's Health Initiative has conducted over 600,000 screenings by partnering with First Ladies from churches all across the country. In a time when many are skeptical of the medical establishment, why is the faith-based community, in your opinion, still our most effective shield against health inequity?
That's a great question. First Lady's Health Initiative was founded in 2008 by my mother, who was a media maven, Tracy Alston, and our founding First Lady, Jamel T. Meeks of Salem Baptist House of Hope in Chicago. And it started with AIDS and HIV. But breast cancer was the original initiative, but AIDS and HIV became a huge issue in 2008. And the First Ladies decided that they wanted to do something about it. And so one Sunday, they and their pastors did mouth swabs for HIV testing right there on the pulpit. And from there, that opened up our initiative. I think it's so important to have health in the church because, as we know, that the church covers the mind, body, and spirit. So health falls right under there. And having that that access. You think about a hospital. I always say that no matter what color you are, as soon as you walk into a hospital, your blood pressure rises. It doesn't matter. It's just an uncomfortable place. But if you can get health resources right in a place where you touch week to week, typically people go to church week to week, maybe more. It's a perfect place for and a safe space for you to learn more about health.
So the theme for Black Maternal Health Week for this year is rooted in justice and joy. So how do we find joy in this movement when we are still facing high mortality rates for Black moms that is 3 times higher than their white counterparts?
Bringing life is a joyous thing. And I think that's the most important thing. And knowing that these conversations are pushing the needle. There's so many organizations that are focusing on maternal health, and there's so many health organizations that focused on maternal health outside of First Ladies. I think that we can find joy that people are partnering up, that people are seeing that there is a problem, people want to solve this. The other thing that I think is great is that the more awareness that we have, and the more awareness that providers understand that, hey, the patient is not just a patient, it's also a person, and that person is connected to a community. The more I think that families can go in and be more empowered when they go into the hospitals and say, no, this isn't right. Yes, this is right. I need more care. Because sometimes we just don't want to, we're afraid, but it's not a time to be afraid. And I think that working with our panelists, we're going to talk about outside, in addition to justice, because we'll have LA County on our panel. We'll be talking about mental health. Mental health is a huge gap. We don't talk about postpartum enough. We don't talk about lactation, that all of those supplemental things. And so I think that opening these conversations and bringing spirituality into it, we'll have Vanessa E. Williams on Saturday.
Now we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
I'm
going to get to
that.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But before we get to what's happening here in LA, I want to talk to you about the economic intersection and Black men. We are seeing a disturbing trend this month with Black male unemployment hitting 7.9%. Mm-hmm. How does economic instability and job loss in the home directly impact the maternal health outcomes you are fighting to improve?
Well, as I said before, it doesn't matter what your income is when it comes to Black maternal health and the morbidity rates. Anyone, from what I understand, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the statistic, but a highly educated Black woman gets the same treatment as a non-educated white woman in our medical facility. And so when it comes to our Black men, that tells me that's the Black family. And so the Black family dollar does not matter when it comes to this. But what I do think needs to happen, what I do think where we're trying to steer, is educating Black men on maternal health, because this is a family issue, and for the man to understand postpartum depression, and for men to understand what it takes, the support that they need to give. I don't think is often talked about, and so. That is something that we're hoping to move forward in as we expand our maternal health initiative is into the fatherhood.
I love that. I love that. You mentioned your mom, and you are the next generation, and you talked about how you've taken the mantle from her to lead this initiative. So I want to know, what is the biggest difference in the health challenges facing Black women today, 2026, compared to when the mission started in 2008?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, I am carrying the mantle. Me, along with my sister Taylor, we are co-executive directors. I would say that the biggest disparity right now, in 2008, it was obviously AIDS and HIV, but the maternal health crisis is kicking up and blaring in our faces. And one of the biggest changes I've seen in a positive way is the acceptance or the lack of stigma around mental health. I think post-COVID, that blew it out the water, where people could see, okay, you're more than just crazy.
Mhm.
We can now have these words called symptoms when it comes to being crazy. Now you can be depressed, right? And here are the symptoms that come with depression, which I think really help our ladies that are of birthing of the birthing population. I think that access to telehealth has been huge, and that's been instrumental in change. And that's something that we want to bring into, and we're trying to really implement in the maternal health world. Is maybe you don't need to go to the doctor. Maybe we can do some blood pressure testing at home, and we can send it into your doctor now that we have telehealth. So I only see an uptick in access, while the systemic racism still remains steady.
Right. So we're gonna talk about what you're doing here in LA, but I do want to emphasize to our audience and to the chat that this is a national movement. It happens in churches all across the country, but we're going to talk about what you're doing here in LA. And I think it's interesting. We were talking about passing the mantle, and you're having something at First AME Church. And our guest yesterday was Pastor Mark Whitlock, who was an assistant pastor at First AME Church here in Los Angeles under Reverend Cecil Chip Murray, and he was he led their CDC, the famed Renaissance, and he helped establish that. And so, I mean, he probably would have loved to have talked to you, but I see the connection here. So you're going to be at Fame Church.
Yes.
So tell us about the Born to Thrive panel and how it aligns with your organization's mission, and what can folks expect, and are you live streaming it?
Yes. So Born to Thrive is a series of panels that we're doing all across the country to raise awareness about the Black maternal health crisis, and also offer support and different options and connecting people to healthcare providers. So on this Saturday, we will be at Fame Church from 12 to 1:30, and our panelists include the wonderful actress Vanessa E. Williams, the wonderful Dr. and First Lady Shalonda Crawford, Dr. Batra of LA County, and she'll be also talking about mental health, Dr. Mosby Tyler and Dr. Franklin. So we'll have a wonderful conversation where we bring culture and real world experiences and tie them in with the spiritual experiences and tie them in with medical professionals. And so it's a real well-rounded conversation that we'll have. I'm really excited because Black Girl Vitamins will also be giving away free products for people who are in attendance. And we'll have gifts and giveaways, and we'll be able to have a nice conversation. And so if people have questions, if people need help and need to get to providers, we'll be there on site to help with that.
I mean, you brought up Black Girl Vitamins. I mean, they've been all up and down my timeline. Okay? All up and down my timeline. From talking about menopause issues, and how did you connect with them? And what are your thoughts on? Of course, you agree with them because they're going to be with them. But talk to us a little bit about Black Girl Vitamin, because we see it on our timelines, but give us a little more insight.
You brought up the question of what's changed, and I think things like this has changed, right? Like we're getting supplements that are tailored to us. Like we know that the Black woman, we struggle with vitamin D deficiency. We don't have enough vitamin D as we age. We can struggle with fatigue. Learning that B12 gives you energy, B6 may helps your stomach, things like that. So it's really complicated to have everything, so many supplements out here. But with Black Girl Vitamins, I love that they have these packs where it's a no-brainer. If this is what you need, this is what you can use to support you, because supplements are huge and are huge to take, and they're definitely huge to take when you are when you're pregnant. So I'm super excited to work with Black Girl Vitamins, and I'm super excited about all the success that they have been having, because we need something like that in our community.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of making sure that they are targeting Black women. Like I say, it's all up and down my
Yes.
timeline. And now that I'm talking to you, I think I might try some of their products.
Please.
Most definitely. Now, the event highlights the importance of extending postpartum care. What's the current gap? I know we talked about it a little bit, but what's the current gap in care, and how can healthcare providers better support new mothers beyond the traditional 6-week visit?
Yes. So, as we discussed, mental health is a huge gap. Understanding and testing for depression and things like that are huge. And so being able to close that gap, understanding what depression looks like. Depression doesn't always look like that in every race. And so understanding what that looks like. The other gap is access to care. Some areas are just a medical desert and a birthing desert. So being able to close the gap by utilizing telehealth is critical. Even if you do have access to a hospital, having that option of telehealth are one of the things that really help with this. I think that as we go forward, the medical industry is changing so much. Our administration is changing so much. So it's really important to look at first ladies and other organizations as to what's going on and how you can protect yourself and arm yourself and have the tools.
Mm. And so, I mean, this is your season for the First Ladies Initiative. But how does the First Ladies Health Initiative plan to conduct advocating for Black maternal health beyond, the events in outreach?
Great question. So we love our in-person events because we are really out in the community. We love going to churches because we get to actually touch the community, because the majority of people that come to churches typically live around the area in which the church is. Mm-hmm. But beyond the church, we do podcasts, we do digital education, we do a maternal health podcast. We just finished up in 2 weeks, so that those episodes should be dropping in the next couple of weeks on firstladieshealth.com on our YouTube page. We also keep a Rolodex of our medical professionals, and we're always willing to share. So our reach is more about digital education and making sure that our resources are connected to the community.
Now, I know when you guys first started, I believe you guys are partnered with Walgreens. Yes. Are you guys still partnered with Walgreens?
Walgreens was our partner for 15 years, our title sponsor for 15 years. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic and other issues, they're no longer our sole partner, and so we have other partners. For instance, our maternal health initiative is in part funded by PCORI, which stands for Patient Centered Outcome Research Institute, which is a wonderful organization that really does the research and has allowed us to really get the data off the page and into the community. So we love partnering with organizations like this, and we continue to partner with organizations who really understand the importance of this mission.
I love that. And so if there's a church, ministry, the Missionary Society or the Women's Ministry or a First Lady watching right now, and they want to tap into what you are doing, how can they find out more information?
You can find out more information by going to firstladieshealth.com and click contact us, and someone will reach out to you. We welcome all of our churches to join this organization. Reason being is we are a conglomerate of First Ladies, but also we are a conglomerate of our board consists of doctors and nurses, lawyers, and people that really vet this information, because sometimes these companies come and they extract from our communities and they don't try to build infrastructure. And so we really guard against who we let in. It's not for some organizations, it could just be like, again, extraction, and so it's really important that we partner with people who know what they're talking about. So our board is we have some members from Walgreens on our board, from the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and some neurosurgeons. So we're really fully stocked with all of the information that we need. And so we try to lead our communities with integrity.
And I don't know if you said it, but are you live streaming what's happening Saturday at First Family Church?
You know, I do not know if we're live streaming, but if you check on the website, it will be up in the next 24 hours. The question will be answered.
I mean, so insightful, so much information. And I mean, I just love the fact that, you know, we were talking about actual healthcare providers, but the work that you are doing provides tremendous help before you even get to the doctor, to know what to even advocate for your bodies and things to look out for. So we're here for you. We're Black Press USA. We have a Black newspaper in every city and country. I mean, every city in this country. And so we're available for you if you want to reach out to us and support the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. We always enjoy our Black press. We can't get this word out without you guys. I definitely appreciate our Black media. So thank you for having us.
All right. Peace and love and good luck on this weekend.
Peace and love. Thank you.
All right. Before we get out of here, let's jump into some Black facts. So we have a lot, and we've been talking about this, but as this country begins to talk about and celebrate 250 years, we're going to talk about 250 years of Black accomplishments and the journey to get there. So first off, in 1866, on this day, the Civil Rights Act of 1866, you know, we always talk about the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but the Civil Rights Act of 1866 was passed, granting citizenship and equal rights to all persons born in the U.S., regardless of race or previous servitude. And so we see the wheels of justice continually turn, and civil rights in this country has always been a fight. And so we will continue to do so. And then let's fast forward to the year of 1968. On this day, the funeral for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was held in Atlanta, Georgia. Over 300,000 mourners attended the procession following his murder on April 4th. And that is the Ebenezer Baptist Church, where now the pastor is Senator Raphael Warnock. And so we see the wheels of justice continue to turn, and the fight for Black liberation continues to this day. And then we'll fast forward to the year of 1948. Jackie Robinson, I think we talked about him yesterday, but on this day in 48, Jackie Robinson signed a contract to officially become the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. All right. And then we'll fast forward to 1984. Oh, there's Jackie Robinson signing his paperwork. Love to see it. Love to see it. The 42, which starred Chadwick Boseman. Great movie to watch. Great movie to watch. Let's fast forward to 1984 now, where Coach John Thompson of Georgetown University became the first Black coach to win an NCAA basketball tournament. There's Coach John Thompson with Patrick Ewing. So there you have it. And then last but not least, on this day in 2021, we lost a legend in hip hop. Legendary rapper DMX passed away at the age of 50 on this day. So those are just some of the contributions and voices and people of 250 years of America. America would not be America without the Black experience. We'll be back tomorrow with Jill Monroe, and we'll talk all things pop culture. It's so much to talk about. We got Kanye, we got Chili. It's a lot to talk about. And Jill Monroe from KBLA Talk Radio, Tavis Smiley's radio station, will be here with me riding shotgun, and we'll address it all tomorrow. Have a good day. Remember, for the latest in Black news, visit blackpressusa.com.